Now we went over what to expect from the side of Gilas Pilipinas in the upcoming FIBA window. Now let's talk about the matchups we have in this final World Cup Asian qualifiers. Now still with us is Gilas alumnus and basketball analyst Isaac Never Stops Go. Isaac,
you actually pulled it out.
He's always on TV and all that.
Yeah, he's
Never
just
stops.
there. I mean,
Always
like,
working.
you can try to avoid him, but you can't.
Right.
But Isaac, all right. So the last meeting against between Gilas and Jordan, there are a couple big pieces. Jordan Clarkson, Kai Soto, both of them not there. In fact, if we take a look at his numbers here, 16 points and 7 rebounds and 2 blocks. Itong si Kai Soto, it's type of athleticism, type of defense you can't really replicate with the tools that we have here so far. How much of an issue will the big man position be for Gilas Pilipinas?
I think, number one, you're going to change something fundamentally in defense. Back then, you can funnel more. You can force these teams to drive more. Basically, you had Kai Soto. You did have Japan Aguilar manning the rim. Now, probably be a little bit more conservative, stay in front, and try not to challenge shots. Or if ever these big men are going to help early, it's to rely more on the rotation to cover it rather than, okay, Kai, go get it, erase it.
And of course, this Jordan meeting was when we all realized na si Dwight Ramos is also a great defensive player. Hindi lang siya offensive threat.
Well, I'm sure Isaac knows that though. You've worked with Dwight a couple of times.
Dwight is one of those all-around guys. He can score, play, make, and defense. But that's probably the one thing that was pointed out because held Dar Tucker, who a lot of guys struggle with, and he's really good, held him to 9 points in the second half, and that says a lot. With Dwight on top of that, having decent production. So it's finding these two-way guys who are able to contribute on both ends of the floor.
And talking about two-way guys, of course, let's talk about this guy, Scottie Thompson, na nagpakilala ulit wearing the Gilas Pilipinas jersey.
Yeah.
Personally, I did not think that Scottie would translate from the PBA to Gilas, but in that game, he had 8 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists, almost a triple-double. What makes Scottie Thompson still effective in the international game, Isaac?
I have to agree with you, honestly, because in Ginebra plays a lot more off guard. Lets LA, Stanley, Nards handle a lot of the ball handling. And Gilas, thrust into the role, he's the primary playmaker. You saw the heart. You saw that he went up for those rebounds. It's not that he's athletic, he's longer than most guards. He wants it. And that's, I think, the important thing that he brought to the table that, hey, I want to play for Gilas, I want to be on this floor, and I want to be in the game when the game matters.
11 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Itong si CJ Perez against Jordan in 18 minutes. Most importantly here, 0 turnovers. That's going to be a big talking point in just a bit. Itong si CJ Perez, people may have forgotten that back in 2019, the FIBA Basketball World Cup, he was arguably one of the 2 bright spots of Gilas Pilipinas in that campaign wherein we ended up dead last. You take a look at CJ Perez and being comfortable around Gilas Pilipinas, I think it's safe to say that he's found that comfort level scoring despite limited minutes.
CJ's one of those guys, he's just a baller. When he goes out there, he produces a lot of good things, scoring. And he's, again, another one of these two-way guys where he can give you 20 points and still guard the best player. And I think now we'll see, will he get a bigger role now? Because 18 minutes is sakto lang. Rotation, solid rotation guy. But will Coach Chot or Coach Tim now give him a little bit more responsibility, seeing what he can do, what he could do in limited minutes?
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to Lebanon, I just want to ask you, why is it important for, it's going to be a 12-man lineup. Why is it important for players to do a little bit of everything in the international stage, Isaac?
Because with 12-man lineup, when someone gets into foul trouble, rotations shorten quickly. And I think that was the case in before when you had a tournament format where you needed guys who could do a little bit of everything because of course, as the tournament progresses, you want to sit some guys. You want to change matchups because you're going to get comfortable because scouting comes into play. Maybe injuries. You never know when you're going to have, let's say you're a 3-man, all of a sudden your 4-man's in front of you, you have to slide down. So you need that flexibility in able to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about Lebanon. As Pao mentioned earlier, we haven't won against Lebanon in this qualifiers. Why do you think so? What is Lebanon doing and what should we do to get over the hump against Lebanon?
Simplest answer, they put more points than us on the board, but
Score more.
Score more. That's the game.
Basic, yes.
But I think it comes again to the defensive end because we have no problem smashing firepower. It's how are we going to hold this team down? Can we stop them in transition? Are we going to limit fouling? And especially now with no more shot blockers, the defense will have to change. Are we going to now funnel more outside? Are we going to contain a little bit more, force them to shoot a little bit off the dribble? So these kinds of tactics come into play, but at the end of the day, it's defense and rebounding.
21 turnovers against Lebanon last time we played them. They gave up 22 points off turnovers now about Gilas Pilipinas. And it could be a function of system, new players coming in together, not really knowing where to go and who to pass to. Can we expect an improvement, especially in this department, considering that there should be a bit more familiarity between the players we have on the floor?
Definitely, and we already know that they're going to bring the pressure. They still want to prove. They have guys there that are fighting for their rosters.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be taking care of the ball. It's going to be how do we handle this pressure. At the same time, it's a trial run for what will happen in the World Cup. Because what pressure is that now compared to the World Cup where you have these world teams coming in?
Yeah.
So many fans, Marang. This is just a taste of what's gonna be like in the World Cup.
Well, I cannot wait to see all these in action. Of course, Isaac, thank you. You've been playing for Gilas, and thank you for all your insights.
Thank you. I hope to play for Gilas more in the future.
Yeah,
That's
then,
for
then,
sure.
then we'll call him Isaac Give and Go.
Ooh, I like that, pal. Well, don't miss out on the Gilas Pilipinas final FIBA window in the World Cup Asian Qualifiers. Catch the games live on TV5 and One Sports, and of course online at Signal Play and the Smart Live Stream app.